What is good, everybody? So, my name is Cliff Allen, and this is another episode of Declassifying My Career, where I just look to provide tips, tricks, and insights into different things that will help you further along on your career path. So today, due to on Tuesday, Michigan passing proposal number 1, we're going to be talking about marijuana and the workplace. So, basically, as you may or may not have heard, Michigan decided that they wanted Mary Jane, marijuana, purple haze, whatever you want to call it, they wanted it to be legal in Michigan. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Okay, what does this mean? Does this mean we now have a gangster's paradise? Does everyone can be just lighting up marijuana and vaping all over the place, walking down the street while you're driving, etc.? Unfortunately, no. So if you do smoke marijuana, I strongly encourage you to, in addition to watching this video, honestly look up some articles. Just see if there's a lot of things that can affect you life-wise if you get caught using it in the wrong place. So in this video, I'm just looking to highlight a few things that you might want to look out for as far as using marijuana and wanting to work somewhere. So before we get into working for someone, let's say you're a person, you're feeling entrepreneurial, and you want to start selling marijuana, right? So you want to be a marijuana dispensary or salesperson, whatever. Unfortunately, you're probably gonna, if you're in the state of Michigan, you're gonna have to wait at least probably until like 2020, because they're gonna have to create a board to issue licenses, and they have to decide how much they want the initiation fees to be, things like before you can start using it recreationally. That also, the dispensaries that are currently selling medical marijuana are probably gonna have first dibs. So if you're not already in the game, it's probably gonna be difficult early on to get into the game in Michigan. If you want to learn more about how to open your own, check out one below. Now, let's say you work for an employer and you just heard the news, my vote counted, and now we can recreationally use marijuana.
Yeah! At last!
Now you might be wondering, can I use it at work, or can I use it in public, etc. So I'm just going to try and answer some general questions that might have arisen. So first of all, employers do not have to respect your usage of marijuana if they can demonstrate that it would interfere with their workflow. So, for example, hospitals, places that use heavy machinery, places that incorporate driving.
Race positions, yes, that is affirmed. We are in a dive.
They most likely will have what we call a zero tolerance policy. So if you are using marijuana and you get caught using it, or if they suspect you're using it and they test you and you test positive, you could either lose your job, or if you're applying to a job and they test you positive during the onboarding process, they can deny you from being hired.
Oh my God.
So that's really something to look out for. If you use it recreationally or medically and you apply somewhere, you really want to know if they have a zero tolerance policy. Now, not every employer is going to have a zero tolerance policy, because there's potential for discrimination if you need it medically and they can't prove that it would interfere with your ability to do the job. This being, there's no rate or so when you drink alcohol, for example, there's a certain level where you're proven to be impaired.
Hooray! Kickball change, step, clap.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Good.
That was really good. You a dancer?
No, I'm just drunk.
That hasn't been established by the government yet, so there isn't really an established rubric for someone being high, right? So what they could do is create their own per se limit, right? So if I'm an employer and I don't want to have a zero tolerance policy, I could say this person tests for X amount of THC, then we're gonna say that they're impaired, and we will go through the necessary actions to either discipline them or let them go. Now, the issue with that is it's not going to be a standard across the board. Also, just because someone has that certain level of THC does not necessarily mean that they are actually impaired, because again, it varies in people's bodies just. So what you'll want to do is be aware of your job's rules and usage policies, and probably want to try to avoid smoking in close proximity to when you're going to be going to work. Now, if you have a medical marijuana card and you need it for whatever reason, and it's for treating something, etc., your employer, if they're not a zero tolerance policy employer, will probably have some form of obligation to try to give you some accommodations. So what you'll want to do is work with your HR group or etc. to figure out what those accommodations might be. Now, they don't have to make an accommodation that best suits you necessarily, because they have rights as an employer as well, but likely they will have to try to accommodate in some capacity for you to either use it on your own at a certain time, or give you some extra FMLA or something to use your product so that you can treat yourself. There's a lot of options, and it's a really great area. That's why likely it's not going to be in mass production until a couple years from now, just so that the legislature and the governing bodies can figure all these questions out. So if you want to learn more about safely using marijuana and not getting evicted from your house, or I mean, not your house. If you have your house, you're probably okay. But if you have an apartment and they have a zero tolerance policy and they catch you, then you might run into some trouble. So if you want to learn more about avoiding that or workplace policies, etc., I've added some links below that could be super helpful to you. So this has been another episode of Declassifying Career. If you know more about this and you want to share some more information below, please do. I'm looking to share some more videos with you all that can give you some insights on things that are coming up, whether it's interview tips or tricks or workplace information, etc. So please subscribe if you found this video helpful or insightful.